Hello comrades, this is Chetty here, and welcome to part 3 of my 4-part Christmas special, and for this part, I'm going to be doing my review of the Gingerdead Man, so let's get right into it. So some of the reviews of this film are, IMDb gave it a 3.4 out of 10, and Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 60 out of 100, and the director of the film is Charles Band. And going into this movie, I wouldn't necessarily say that I was excited to see it, but I definitely was interested to see it. I was thinking it was going to be a case of a film it's so bad, it's good, and while there are elements of that in this, it's mostly just bad. Gary Busey stars as the Gingerdead Man, and if this doesn't show that he's desperate for roles, I don't know what does. He doesn't give a terrible performance, he's easily the best part of this film. The rest of the cast is just okay. They give not great performances, but I really feel like they were doing the best with what they were given. The story doesn't really make any sense. They don't bother explaining things, and I'll touch on that later on in the review. Despite the hour and 10 minute runtime, I found myself bored out of my mind throughout most of this movie. The Gingerdead Man just looks stupid. I'll throw up a picture on the screen. And there's stuff in this movie that doesn't really make any sense. For instance, why would this serial killer target the main girl specifically? Because obviously she did contribute to him probably getting caught and being sent to death row, but there's also a lot of other people who contributed to that, so why is he going after this girl specifically? Wouldn't he want to go after the people who killed him, like the guy who executed him, or the people who got him arrested? It just doesn't really make any sense. Also, they don't bother explaining how exactly the serial killer was able to transfer his body into the Gingerdead Man. I'm assuming most likely they briefly mentioned that he was cremated and had his ashes sent to his mom, so maybe his ashes were mixed in with the dough and he was involved with some sort of witchcraft that brought him back from the dead. I don't really know. At least with a film like Child's Play, they actually explain how the serial killer got put inside the Chucky doll, but here they just don't bother doing that whatsoever, and I feel like it would be pretty simple to explain, just something about witchcraft and he was able to transfer his body into it, and I'll just save you the time. I'll basically explain what happens in this movie. So the film starts out with our main character in a diner that's being held up by the serial killer, which is kind of strange. They do refer to Gary Busey's character as a serial killer, but that's not really common for serial killers to, like, hold up a diner and do mass shootings, but just moving on from that. So, her whole family gets killed. She's the only survivor of this. And then they cut to the future. They don't specify how long it's been since the incident happened. I'm assuming it's probably been like a year or so. And they briefly mentioned that the serial killer was executed on death row. And like I said earlier, they said his ashes were sent to his mom. And then, so basically this girl works at a diner, and then, she gets a knock on the door, and it's this person in a black hood that's leaving off this gingerbread mix. I don't know exactly what it's called, but the stuff they use to make a gingerbread man. And then she just runs off. They don't bother explaining who this is, but I'm assuming it's most likely the mom or someone who was in cahoots with the serial killer. I don't know if they thought that far ahead, or if it was just supposed to be, just some ominous figure. I don't really know. And for some reason, the girl uses this gingerbread mix, whatever it's called, that was left off by someone in a black hood that didn't say anything and ran off. She uses it to make a gingerbread man, and then I guess Gary Busey's soul or whatever possesses, I don't know if that would be the right term, the Gingerdead Man, and then he tries to kill people. That's basically the whole movie. I saved you an hour and 10 minutes because I would really not recommend checking this out. I thought it would be, a fun movie to watch and entertaining, but it is far from that. This is one of the worst movies I've seen. I do want to do a video comparing this to Thanksgiving, so I won't say whether or not I think this is better than Thanksgiving. But guys, right now, I'm going to give the Gingerdead Man a 3.5 out of 10. And yeah, guys, that is part 3 of the Christmas special. Hopefully you guys have had a good Christmas, and stay tuned for part 4, where I will be comparing P2 and Silent Night. And I'll see you guys next time. This is Shai signing off. Peace out.